Today finds us at a new lake in the upper delta. We're going to be doing some pan fishing and just a little bit of bass fishing, exploring this new place I haven't been to before. Hopefully we catch a few brim, maybe a few white perch, and a few little bass. I'm keeping fish today for a little fish fry that I'm planning to have, so if you see any fish go in the cooler, that was the aim of today's trip. So hopefully you enjoy it. We're starting off with a Bobby Garland. It's like a 2-inch, I think it's called a Shad pole if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to be using that on our ultralight to start things off, and we just got a little goggle eye to start. You can see I'm trying to get that jig out of that fish's mouth. He swallowed it pretty deep, and I don't want to pull on it because it might hurt the fish, and when I throw him back he may not make it. So I'm trying to be careful and get that jig out. There we go, he's back in the water. That one wasn't quite big enough. And these goggle eye and brim and things, they'll usually gang up in groups of, 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes more. So it's always a good idea to work an area thoroughly after you've caught a fish. And that's what we're going to do here. See if we can get another one. Alright, here we got another little guy on the Bobby Garland. Let's see what he is. That looks like a decent little goggle eye. I think he may end up going in the box. So we're going to get this guy unhooked and get him in the box, and that'll be our first little fish.
That'll work.
So I caught a few little panfish. Now I'm going to switch gears for just a little while and throw this lure called a Shad. It's a really big bait. It's like a little over 7 inches, a little over 2 ounces. This is my first trip using it. I'm just playing around with it. Not too sure what I'm going to catch, if I catch anything. And it turns out this was my only strike with it going to be coming up. It hits it right at the boat, and I can't really tell what it is. So whenever you watch it, see if maybe you have an idea of what it is, and you can leave a comment below if you think you know. Alright, so there it was. There was a lot of gar in this area, so it's possible that's what it was. But it also hit a lot like a largemouth bass, so it could have been that too. What do you think it was? Alright, we've moved on. We went back to our Bobby Garland Moglo, fishing around some submerged sticks and bushes and things, and I think we have our first white perch here, and it's a pretty decent one. White perch is another name for crappie, and we're going to get this guy netted. He looks to be about 10 inches, so the minimum for Alabama, the size minimum is 9 inches, so this guy should definitely be big enough. So he's going to go in the cooler, and then we're going to get right back at it. Hopefully we can find another in this area. Alright, that Bobby Garland chartreuse shad pole seems to be getting bit, and we're going to keep at it, working this area where I caught that last white perch, seeing if there's another one. They definitely like to hang in schools, so there's probably one around here. Let's see. Okay, and there's a little guy. It's a good sign there are white perch in the area, but this guy's not quite going to make it. So back in the water, little buddy. There does seem to be a cluster of little fish in here. I've gotten tapped a little bit in this general area where I've caught the others, and every now and then I'll just get a bump, but it just hasn't taken it yet. So I'm just working this area really good, trying to see what it is. I'm pretty sure it's another white perch. Let's see. Oh, there it is. And it's another little guy. He's not quite going to make it. About the same size as that last fish. So I'm going to unhook him, and then back in the water he goes.
Little fella.
Alright, and right here I'm doing a little vertical jigging in a treetop. I've gotten tapped a few times. I'm just like dropping it straight down and then raising it up and down and up and down. And I'm going to get tapped. Doop. And then let's see what he is. Oh, he got off. Let's see. See if he'll bite it again. Let's see. Did he get it? Nope. Nope, he let go. Let's see. Come on, little guy. There he is. What is that? It looks like a little goggle eye. Pretty decent one, too. These goggle eye don't have to be very long, but they're pretty thick, so you can get a little fillet off of them. So this guy will go in the box for us. Okay, and that little boop 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 we were hearing was the fish moving around in the ice box. So that's what that was. Still using that Bobby Garland, throwing around these treetops. We found a decent little bit of fish up through here. We're just covering water pretty slowly, trying to hit all the stick-ups in the water, get as close to the big trees as we can that are near the bank. And here we're going to hook up with another white perch. And, oh wait, that's not a white perch. Man, sometimes these fish will fool you. I thought for sure that guy was a white perch. He was fighting just like one. But, so honestly, we're doing a fish fry. Most of the time I don't save bass here lately, but that guy will go in the cooler too. Oh, now this feels like a sizable little white perch. This one might be a keeper. So I'm just going to take my time, go slow with him. If you've ever caught a white perch, you'll know they have really thin mouths. And if you try to horse them in the boat, it will tear a hole in their mouth and that hook will fall right out. So going to be slow with this guy, get him in the net. We got him, so good job there. And he's definitely big enough to keep, so he will go in the ice box. Good deal. Okay, getting him secured in the ice box and back to it. So we're getting a decent little haul of fish so far. In this next scene here, I'm throwing a chatterbait, black and blue chatterbait with a Zaco trailer, and I hook something. I'm almost certain that it's an alligator or an alligator gar. I think it might be the biggest thing I've ever hooked in my life, but I didn't even see what it was. So notice after it pops off, all the bubble trail that it leaves behind. I'm pretty sure it was an alligator. Let me know what you think. Like, it never even like came close to coming up. It just started peeling drag and went towards a bush and got right off. So I hooked this thing. It bites just like a fish, and it's just sitting there holding bottom, and it starts going towards that tree, and then whoop, comes right off. And then as soon as it gets off, there's just bubbles all around to the right of the kayak. It's, I don't know. If it was an alligator, I would have hated to have got it to the surface. That was kind of wild. After fishing my way to the end of the lake, I turn around, and just about right where I hooked that thing that I thought was an alligator, I'm going to get out my phone to call a buddy of mine, and then that big sploosh commotion up in front of the kayak, it takes off and makes a bubble trail just like whatever I hooked and goes back towards that same darn bush. So I don't know. I'm thinking that was an alligator, and I come across him and made him mad. Back in the area where I caught the white perch before and a few of the goggle eye, I'm just going to work this area for just a little bit before I head back. And I'm going to end up catching a goggle eye on that same Bobby Garland shad pole. So just throwing it out, letting it sink a little bit, kind of swimming it back, and then boop, he hits it. And it feels like a goggle eye. They love to hang around that wood. Okay, we're going to put this guy in the cooler and rock on. So this trip is almost at its end. We got a decent little mess of fish. I didn't include all of them on the video. But so normally I'll tell you right where I'm fishing at, but for this trip I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that it is the upper delta and it's in Alabama, you know, somewhere along the Mobile, Tensas It's a new place that someone told me about, so I'm not quite going to name drop it. But it was a good trip, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I do appreciate you watching.